Hello, everybody, and welcome to a re-record of my Mount Silver game versus Regenix, the Detroit Enteis. I am bad, so I forgot to switch over my audio source. Therefore, my video had no audio. Excellent, huh? But yeah, so I'll just do a voiceover of the original video. Um, Here I am just going over the teams. Obviously, there's the Latios, the Terrakion, the Azumarill, Skarmory, Nidoqueen, and Greninja on the opposing team, and I have Koko, Mega Metacham, Kyurem, the Sceptile, Umbreon, and the Decidueye. With my team's fields being on the left-hand side there. But yeah, basically doing all this introductory stuff, choosing who I'm going to start with. Tapu Koko is a likely start for me, but also Nidoqueen is a likely start for him. But I do have U-turn on my Tapu Koko just for that reason. And so, yeah, Tapu Koko was pretty much my dedicated lead at this point. Got to put my stuff into the calcs here, but yeah. Have we got to the start yet? No, nothing's done. But yeah, basically I'll go over it play by play and give my reasoning and whatever. So yeah, it was the Coco Nidoqueen matchup that was quite likely. If he had started with anything else, it would have been good for me as well. But yeah, I was pretty much just clicking U-turn no matter what, as long as Nidoqueen was around, and that lets me go into Umbreon as he does Toxic, which is a pretty decent call, pretty good start for him to this match. Pretty shit for me because I didn't bring Heal Bell, but that's okay. Go for the taunt and catch the Azumarill on its way in, which is good for me. This Umbreon was set to outspeed it, so getting a foul play off there would have been good as well, or even a wish. But yeah, I don't really have a switch into this if it just wants to go for a foul play or a knockoff or something like that. um, So at this point, it's basically deciding which mon that I brought is the most useless. Because there obviously is the choice band potential, but it's obviously going to go for some kind of move here because it doesn't have the opportunity to set up if it is the belly drum. I do eventually go into the Decidueye, and we do find out that this Azumarill is choice banded. That's a ton of damage. He can't really stay in here. U-turning probably would have been good. Like, he was going to expect a grass move from my Decidueye here, even though I do not have it. U-turn probably would have been good for some momentum. But I try and catch something with the Toxic, as he doesn't know what he wants to go into. Just explaining how it's choice banded. Actually, I'm not sure if he does switch. Yeah, he takes a Toxic, misses the play rough. Unfortunately for him. Um, but at least that puts the banded Azumarill on a timer. Sorry, I got a bit of a sore throat. It's early in the morning. Um, but yeah, so I basically just let this Decidueye go down. no point losing anything else to a banded play rough. And that just lets me bring in the Tapu Koko, I believe, is what I do. I can't remember, to be honest. No, I go into Metacham, I go for the Thunder Punch, and then he switches in the Latios after that. I didn't expect him to really want to keep the Azumarill around, so yeah, at this point I didn't really expect him to keep the Azumarill around. I probably should have substituted. I did go for the Thunder Punch, he brings in the Latios. Substitute would have been good because that means I get a free Ice Punch off on the Latios, or a Thunder Punch off on the Skarmory, or Ice Punch on the Nidoqueen, or like a big hit off on something for free. And it wouldn't have been bad to test if he was going to switch out with the substitute. It would have made a lot of sense. But as I said, I didn't really expect him to keep the Azumarill at this point, just from the fact that see, that still did 30% to a resisted hit on the Latios, which is nice, but this Latios is going to Oko me with Draco Meteor. If I stay in, because it's obviously faster than my Metacham, but it's just how it is. Yeah, but I should have substituted, considering that he might have wanted to save the Azumarill for the priority. Get a big foul play here. Though he does switch into Terrakion, which was a fairly obvious play. And this is where things start getting real tough for me, to be honest. I stay in and go for the taunt. Because I did not want him, like, I did not want him to be able to continually set up on me. Like, I didn't want a Swords Dance Rock Polish kind of thing. I go for the taunt here. He's not going to be able to set up a substitute again. And yeah, my Umbreon goes down, but that's fine. I didn't have a switch in for this. Now I can break the substitute with the Tapu Koko here, which is the best thing I can do. Down 4-6, so it's not looking good for me, to be honest. But see what we can do. I basically have to choose a sack here because +1, whatever he wants to go for, is going to hurt. Mega Metacham does have a chance of living a hit, but obviously the Terrakion is going to outspeed my Mega Metacham, so it's going down if I bring that in. Everything is going down if I bring it in at this point. So yeah, basically I feel like Kyurem and Sceptile are my win cons in this match. The only way that I can bring this back is by using them. So unfortunately, Metacham is going to be my sack at this point. And yeah, we see that he uses the Continental Crush Z move as well, which just absolutely decimates my Metacham. I get my speed boost on the Sceptile here. That allows me to just Giga Drain this. Terrakion is going to go down, and that's a Terrakion sweep stopped, thankfully. I'm still looking in a pretty bad position at this point, but if the Skarmory has the Whirlwind, it's gonna suck. I do have the nature power to deal with that Skarmory, but the fact that it has Sturdy is annoying. And yeah, he brings that in. So obviously, Sturdy Whirlwind is coming out. Nature power in electric terrain does give us Thunderbolt, which is going to Oko this, but obviously it's got that Sturdy, yeah. Get the para. I was hoping for para full para, but did not get that. But yeah, I go for the substitute here on the Kyurem because getting behind a sub is going to be very important for me. Figured that he'll probably roost. If he well wins, then Tapu Koko can come back in. Um, yeah, so I get that roost off. Kyurem 58 to 69%, so it's a pretty decent chance to kill here. It was a roll, assuming that it is the standard set that's in the calcs. But yeah, I do get that kill, which is great for me. Still behind the substitute, which means that he basically has to sack something to take this substitute out, and there we go. And yeah, Latios is down as well, which is excellent for me. He brings in the Greninja. I was like, why is he doing this? Greninja is always a problem. Expecting like Rock Slide or something like that. But yeah, Low Kick is just a good move against Kyurem because Kyurem's so heavy. And we see there that he's very bulky as well. Because I should have been doing more than that to a regular Greninja. But yeah, at this point, what do I do? Is going to have something to be able to deal with each of my Mons. I'm pretty sure. I didn't want to take the damage on the Tapu Koko at the moment. Because even if I bring it in against this Greninja, I mean, actually, switching into Tapu Koko there wouldn't have been a bad play because I could U-turn on the likely Nidoqueen being coming in. And that U-turn still would have hurt the Greninja, but yeah, I bring in the Sceptile here, and I live an Ice Beam. I think it was a roll. Obviously it was not protein, but yeah, that makes it much easier for me at this point. But yeah, so as we see, protein does 88 to 103.6, but I think I spent okay 95.6 to 112, but yeah, I don't figure out that the calc says protein here still for a second. But yeah, there we go. I figure out that it's protein, and we put the special attack back in 63.7 to 75%. Now, if we go back to where Sceptile is in front of Greninja, I was at 74, so would have taken a max roll to knock me out there, I think. So yeah, 75. It would have taken a fairly high roll. So I'm glad that he didn't get that roll, and I got my Giga Drain off. Get another Giga Drain off. It does not kill, and play rough will. But now Kyurem comes in and clicks Ice Beam a couple of times, because Ice Beam should kill the Azumarill here, and it should kill the Nidoqueen as well. And as we saw before, the Nidoqueen is not scarfed or anything like that. Um, yes. But yeah, I think the main thing that people will think about when I will think is weird is the Umbreon plays. I was worried about like a Rock Polish. That's why I didn't go for the foul play again, because him Rock Polishing on another foul play would put him at +2, +2, +2 attack, +2 speed, which would have outsped my um Tapu Koko at that point, my Scarf Tapu Koko. And I didn't really have any priority. I didn't have any priority to help deal with that at all. So that's why I went for the taunt into the sack. Um, even though like if he was like a Rock Polish Swords Dance set, still would have been very tough to deal with either way. If he had done one of those, hopefully he would have Swords Dance first. Because like at that point I had to sack something to be able to get my electric train up with Coco. Oh, sack two things really. Sack the Umbreon to get my Tapu Koko's electric terrain up, and then the Sceptile as well in after that for free. So that was the Umbreon and the Mega Medicham sacks. Would have been a much cleaner sweep probably if I had managed to get Stealth Rocks up. Like if I had brought Stealth Rocks and managed to get them up at some point. Because then Skarmory would have had its Sturdy, and Sceptile would have just OHKO'd it with the Nature Power. And then from that point on, he could have OHKO'd Ninja, potentially, actually. Um, Showing the Giga Drain damage on the Azumarill, probably wouldn't have been able to OHKO that actually, but still would have done a ton of damage. But yeah, would have hurt his team for sure. So Stealth Rocks could have been important, but that's how it goes. Regenix played really well. I got a couple of rolls in my favor, but that's Pokemon, I guess. Um, Happy to take the win for sure. I needed one in the Mount Silver League, but yeah, um, very close game. It could have gone either way at some points, to be honest. Glad that I managed to play myself back into the winning position though. He did miscalc. He still had protein on his Greninja as well when he went for the Ice Beam on my Sceptile, but yeah, that's just how it is. I was kind of sacking it at that point anyway. I think I could have gone for the Scarf Coco U-turns to help me win, even if Sceptile had gone down at that point. So, yeah, who knows? It would have been a different game. But yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Good game to Regenix, and I'll see you guys for week 4. Peace.